Ed Cody. To my right, the Swami, George Abraham. To my left, the Tiger, Albert Campman. Guys, we start with breaking news that the Mars School Board will name, pending a meeting, of course, Eric Kasparovich as their new head football coach. Kasparovich, in his 8 years at Pine Ridge, won 4 WPL championships, 2 state championships, was removed by allegations of the superintendent for hazing, allegations, never a charge against him. He spent the past year as a Pitt volunteer assistant coach. Guys, big deal for Mars in this hire?
Has to be. And I don't think they would go after him if they didn't think so. I think it was all set up. It had to be set up a long time ago. I mean, it's hard for me to believe that a coach who won all them many games, and they had this guy in waiting, who's considered probably right now, except for Pelko, the top coach in the WPL. So it was set up. It was really set up, I think.
I thought either there or Hampton, one of those jobs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would think this is the better job historically.
Oh, Mars, you know they have that.
How many years have we been on this show? Another 1,000-yard rusher.
All the time.
Absolutely.
So Scott Heinar will remain the athletic director, and Scott had a great career there. Just one bad season last year. I don't know all the reasons why prompted a change, but we know that happens even with long-standing coaches. It's happened everywhere.
That's a struggle for me, only because of past president. However you say that word. I don't like the.
He's been a good coach.
No, I don't like the football coach being the AD. See,
I agree with you.
Behind that,
well, you know, we ran into that
it's
problem.
It's just natural jealousy, natural whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, I need 3 new sleds.
It's
raise
demanding.
Raise the money.
No,
you know,
I
worry about this stuff happening. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what my mind
was. Were you with me, or were you with the night we went to do the Mars football game at Mars? And Scott was down on the field.
Yeah.
And we were up in the booth. They didn't have a spot for us. They had a radio station from Pittsburgh. And we turned around and left. We haven't gone back. And I told Scott, I said, we should have had a place reserved for us.
Absolutely.
But I wasn't going to go down on the field and bother him before a game, having been a coach. Yes. I know what that's like.
Yes. Oh, no, absolutely.
So let's go to honors. North Allegheny senior forward Connor Chai named Post-Gazette Stellar 6 Hockey Player of the Year. He's the 3A leading scorer. His last 2 years, he's put up 75 points with 30 goals and 45 assists. In recruiting news, North Catholic basketball star Daisha Lewandowski.
Oh, I thought you meant recruiting news North Catholic and somebody.
Grandma, you heard it. Yeah, right here.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
She commits to the University of Akron. The Zips were 17-12 last year. The junior point guard averaged 15.9 points a game this past season. Her sister Kylie is a sophomore at Richmond.
Yeah, she guards. That's the other thing I saw that I liked when we did the game. She guards.
That's definitely AAU. You know, that's what Joey got involved in, and they recruit AAU now. They don't recruit high school. I mean, it's there could be a great high school player. If they don't like you out of AAU, you're not getting taken. It's just the recruiting game has changed so much.
Yes. And the Knox senior softball player Taylor Davis, she commits to Geneva. She's led her 3 straight years as a right fielder for Knox High School. And top performances of the week: girls track, Butler's Megan Bajetta. She broke the school record in the triple jump, 38 feet 5.5 inches. She broke the record set in 1987 by Letha Dudek. And also in girls track, Reese Skiba Freeport, triple event winner in the shot, discus, and javelin. And in boys track, Presley Ornelas of Butler, he won both hurdle events, plus was on a 4x100 relay team. In boys lacrosse, #1 ranked 2A Mars beat North Hills 18-1. Enzo Greco had 5 goals. Jack Dunham and Wesley Skersey had 3 goals each. Mars is 7-0. They're the 5-time WPL champs. I don't know how many regular season games they've won in a row.
We'll be saying this 5 years from now, I think, still.
Yeah. And there's another, they got athletes there, as we just said, with Kasparovich going there. They're good in track, they're good in baseball, softball, you name it. Basketball, 3 WPL championships.
Yeah, absolutely. And this lacrosse, I'm just guessing they've had it a little longer than that. This is the beating you're going to get till you figure it out. And it's not easy.
Boys and girls soccer won WPL and state championships in the same year.
It's the old Blackhawk, and then now it's them. And I think Hermitage is about 2 years behind.
Landon Dubiak of Butler, he had 5 goals. In girls lacrosse, Piper Geibel of Butler, she had a hat trick. And Evelyn Vasari of Butler, 8 goals. And Elena Collins of Butler, 7 goals in a 27 to win over Freeport.
Well, just give me a score. I thought I heard it.
20 to 7 win. The one girl with 8, Vasari with 8 goals, and Collins with 7 goals.
That's what I thought you said.
Yeah. Hey, girls softball, Paige Grescott at Slip Rock High School, 16 Ks. Lexi Hames of Seneca Valley, 11 Ks and a 2-1 win over Norwin. Abby Sutton of North Catholic, she had 13 Ks. And Alyssa Harris of Mars, 11 Ks. Those girls just strike them out. Now, I don't remember the lady's name. She died about a week ago. But she was a softball star pitcher, and she struck out Ted Williams.
She struck out 2 other guys,
Yeah.
2 famous.
There were some other major league players that didn't want to face her.
That Queen and base lady got Paul Blair.
Yeah.
That position is one you want to get. If you have a girl with any athleticism, teach them how to be a softball pitcher. That's the one position who'll get some money.
Go to school for
Oh,
nothing.
yeah. Hey, is it the girl I think
if you're a great pitcher, and you're striking out 20, 18,
By the
17.
way, that lady you're talking about played professional golf also.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
And the girl, I think it's from Hempfield. She threw like 5 or 6 no-hitters last year. She strikes out 14 almost every game. She just threw another no-hitter. I don't know where she's going, but every school in the country is looking at her.
You have to be careful. That's how good these girls are, especially in the South. We had a lady about 12, 15 years ago over at Poland, every game.
Yeah.
16, 17 K. She went to Tennessee and got lost in the shuffle.
But you watch those college softball games. Those
Here's
girls,
the problem.
they could bring that ball.
Last thing. Same pitcher pitches every game.
Yeah.
So you don't need 6 like you do in the board.
You have 2 good ones in college. You have a chance to win the national championship.
Oh, yeah. The follow-up on that, what I was going to say to you was, though, don't think because you strike out 15 here, 16 here, that you are getting that full ride. You better get yourself out into the world and see what's out there in the Southern. See the Southern, and like at Arizona State, somebody was recruiting somebody.
SEC.
They said, we have 23 of them. That's what.
It's
that's
just
so
amazing.
that's what. Yeah. So that's the way it works. Yes.
In baseball, Zach Clark of Freeport, 3 hits. Eli Sutton a knock, 3 hits and 3 RBI. Matt Clement of Butler pitched a game where he struck out 10. Seneca Valley pitcher Nate Melick, a 2-hit, 1-0 shutout win over North Allegheny. Boys PG volleyball rankings in 3A, number 1 North Allegheny, number 2 Seneca Valley. Both these teams are loaded. We're going to be there at North Allegheny on Friday, April the 22nd, when Seneca Valley's at North Allegheny. It'll be an interesting volleyball match. North Allegheny has 65 straight wins.
Wow.
And 4 WPL titles the last 5 years, 3 state the last 4 years. How about Coach Don Shaw? He's won 15 WPL championships.
Jeez, runaway freight train.
And in 2A, North Catholic is ranked number 2. So there you have it. Let's go to our stories of the week, and we start off with a sad note. The Steelers quarterback, Dwayne Haskins, struck and killed by a dump truck while trying to cross, and no one can explain this yet, an 8-lane highway in Florida. He was returning to Pittsburgh after attending a quarterback meeting at the home of new Steelers quarterback Mitch Trubisky. Haskins just 24. Just a shame. So much promise. What a great year he had that senior year at Ohio State when he threw 50 touchdown passes.
Yeah, that one blew a lot of people's minds. At 24 years old, you have a whole life in front of you. And
yet there's no explanation as to why,
it'll come out. Somebody will find out.
Why wasn't he getting a ride to the airport? What was he doing?
He's out of gas.
But they've never said that.
Yeah. I saw the road he tried to cross. My goodness,
it's unbelievable. It was so wide,
and there was a middle about this big. You wouldn't have been safe if you got there.
It looked like it was 100 yards long to cross.
And it was just getting light. It was
6:30 in the morning.
That's what I'm saying.
See, they've never said anything about him running out of gas.
Yeah,
they're talking about that though. Somebody has mentioned it, Eddie.
Have they mentioned that?
Yes,
That's a shame.
I hope there was nothing, bad in any way as far as devious or something. I hope.
And you wonder, maybe he just forgot he had a rental car. There was not enough gas in it. He didn't pay attention.
Just crazy.
It's an
sad,
absolute shame. Just recently
yes.
married.
No, devastating.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Hey, National Hockey League, the Pens snap a 4-game losing streak. You know, they've been 11-2 in their last 24 games. They beat Nashville 3-2 in overtime when Sidney Crosby goal, his second goal of the game plus an assist. That gives him 1,400 career points. Think of that, how many that is. Crosby's winning goal, the 77th of his career. He's just one behind Malkin and Yager. And speaking of Malkin, he gets a 4-game suspension for knocking out 3 teeth of Nashville's Mark Borowiecki with a high stick. It's a wonder he didn't break his jaw. Some thought it would be up to a 10-game suspension, but he's getting 4 games. It was off camera. I didn't see it. Then they showed it later. But when you knock 3 teeth out of someone's mouth, it had to be a vicious hit.
Well, I would tell him, and I used to tell my players all the time, he's selfish. And that bothers me so bad when somebody's selfish.
That hurts the team.
Because, yes, he's not thinking about anything but himself. I'm going to get this guy back. I'm going to be some tough guy. He's selfish. Yeah. And that's the way I look at it.
Borowitz slashed him.
Well, there was something happened first. It's always the second guy.
I don't care what happened.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't do that.
No.
Right. You're selfish.
You're selfish like you're surprised.
Now you did something really good.
Yeah.
Because you got back. Yeah. And now the Penguins are out without one of the best
4
players.
games, yeah.
Right.
So, you know, it happens in football. So you get hit from behind, so you turn around
Next
and you
play,
go
absolutely.
and whack them, and you get the 15-yard penalty
Yeah.
thrown against you. So the Pens have 8 games remaining. Guys, in their last 16 games against playoff teams, they're 6-10. This is not a good way to finish the season. I'm going to have Jay Caulfield on in another week or so to talk about the Pens and the playoffs, and I'm sure he's going to have some strong thoughts about how they played down the stretch here.
It'll be a shock if they go far in the playoffs.
1-3 against the Rangers. You know they're going to play the Rangers again.
They can't beat the better teams, and then that's what you want. That's what you want. I have no idea why. I don't know if it's the goaltending's on sour or the defense or injuries.
It's different things with different teams. You know, like with the Rangers, they just get out-muscled. Colorado is their speed. Colorado beat them 2 straight, and then they had a 3-1 lead on the Caps, and they lost 6-3. I mean, that's unheard of. 5 unanswered goals in a hockey game where you have a 3-1
once again,
lead.
I'll put my hands up, double hands up on this one. I said, don't show me. Anybody say anything about Sullivan?
No.
He's Teflon proof. No one. Oh, he's the best. He does everything right. If this is Tomlin, they'd be writing every day. Got to get rid of Tomlin. Sullivan.
Well, I think
everybody just says he's the guy. I don't see it. What's he doing so great?
I think questions will emerge if they don't do well.
I'm hoping you're right. I never seen anybody question.
Well, there have been 2 years in a row they've gone early exits from the playoffs. So a 3rd year in a row, and in hockey, it's all about what you do in the playoffs.
They always blame the players when Sullivan's involved. In Pittsburgh, they blame the coach. And the Steelers, and it's just so different that it drives me nuts.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that will put his job in jeopardy. The danger of them slipping to a wild card.
Too, Albert. Part of that is more people think they know more about football.
Probably true.
Yeah.
Probably true.
So they are now 8 points behind Carolina and 6 points behind the Rangers, where at one time, about a month ago, they were in first place.
Yeah, they're not playing well at all.
No.
No, not one part of their game's playing well. You understand?
No part.
They're not playing well at all.
Turnovers, slow transitions. They don't.
You can go right down the line.
They don't help the goalie at all.
They have 94 points. That was their total on FanDuel when it started. Yeah. So they've exceeded that.
They just don't help the goalie out at all. They're very slow.
His numbers have gone down the last 10 or 12 games.
Mm-hmm. And you see too many players standing around watching. Hey, the 86 Masters won by Scotty Scheffler, 10 under, 3 strokes ahead of Rory McIlroy. He took charge of that Masters and put a stranglehold on it from day one.
Yeah, they had it. They got close on the final.
I was going to make that point.
9-8, and then he just pulled away.
It was like a tiger.
Too
thing.
much of
I appreciate what Scheffler did. He went in with the mindset, I don't have to shoot birdies.
Yeah,
I will just play along because I know the other guys behind me are going to.
He didn't make any mistakes.
Everyone I went, except McIlroy, he's always famous for that.
Yeah.
He'll put that late charge when he's 10 down and
lose by 4.
He'll lose by 4 strokes.
Yeah.
But everybody behind, Tiger was famous for that. I'll just play along, watch these bums behind me.
Hey, the long hair dude, Burns, he had that 7 and it was over.
Yes.
He was breathing down his neck. You get a 7, you're done.
Yep. And Tiger came back, finished with a plus 13, and much was. I mean, they talked more about him what he was doing. And let me say this, nothing against him. I think it's great he came back. But what Alex Smith did in pro football when he broke his leg, nearly died on the field. They almost cut his leg off. For him to come back and play pro football with 250-pound linebackers trying to separate him from the ball and 300-pound linemen, no one's out there going to separate Tiger from his golf ball. I'm just thinking, I never heard them say as much about Alex Smith, and he deserved much for his courage in coming back to play. Nothing against Tiger.
I've told George this, and I've said on other shows. My dad would come home from work and crawl up the steps, like his back was so bad. He couldn't walk, so he would. I watched Tiger watch 4 rounds.
Yeah.
No, wait, but I want to hear that he could not do what he did if he's in that much pain. Yeah. He couldn't. You can't do it. I said, George has bad legs. From this point, he's gonna have a hard time getting to the car. When you're really hurting, you can't do that. They made it sound like he was
right, and it was endless talk. And
it's because it's
CBS
Tiger.
Evening News,
ABC
Tiger,
Evening I know. News, I got it.
I never heard them say. And
That's why, George.
Did you ever see Alex Smith's leg?
Oh yeah,
it looked like lunch meat.
It looked like a leg of lamb.
It looked like lunch meat.
Oh.
Tiger may have been hurt at one time, but you could not do what he did in the Masters if he was hurt. You can't walk that far because Masters really is up straight on.
And no one's hitting him.
Don't forget, it wasn't an accident. He was driving 90 and a 45.
That's right. Yes. But my complaint is I think it detracted from what Scheffler did and the other golfers.
No question.
But you can reverse.
But that's why they watched it, though.
And you can reverse that. That's why the purse was so big. Because
that's why they watched it
over the years.
Nobody watched it to turn on to watch Scheffler.
No.
They turned it on to watch Tiger.
Yeah. And missing, of course, 3-time champ Mickelson was out. He decided not to play after all the stuff he said about the Saudis and so forth, and criticizing the PGA. Just he's lost so many sponsors now. He
absolutely
from going way up here and being one of the favorites to being highly criticized now.
No, absolutely. Hey, another thing we didn't mention Adam Schefter doing that recant when he realized his mistake when he reported to Haskins. He give him credit in that he made the mistake and he corrected it.
It was a wrong time for him to say that.
Like I said, Al, something happened similar one night up in Sharon, and we were on the next morning, and I said, Al, the more important to be right than first. Yes. And I think the opposite is true. They all want to be first. Okay, but don't mess them. Don't say he was doing this or doing that if you didn't know.
Hey, Major League Baseball, the Pirates opened the season with a 9-0 loss to St. Louis and pitcher Adam Wainwright. When's the last time you lost to the Pirates? I think Eisenhower was president, something like that.
No.
How many has he beat him? 20 straight games?
I think 17 years. The highest average against him is 200.
And then a 6-2 loss before beating the Cards 9-4 on Michael Chavis Grand Slam. Game 4 was rained out. I'm thinking of the Cardinals. The Pirates have finished behind the Cardinals now something like 22 straight years in the division. That's hard to believe.
The circle part of that whole series, I watched it because I'm a Pirate fan, is Mitch Keller got beat again. Mm-hmm. And see, they could continue to keep telling me that he's
showing 100.
He's got his velocity back. He's ready to go. And until I see it on the mound in a Major League game, I can't believe it. And that's why they had all these prospects coming through. Until I see them perform in the major leagues, I don't know what's going to happen.
I know I've said this before in the show what Mickey Mantle and Guy said about the fastball pitchers. They never worried about them. No. They worried about the guy with the slider and the curveball like Koufax.
What this team looks like. They have the minors are in Altoona and the pro teams in Pittsburgh. Like, they need a team in Johnstown. Because all their guys are about halfway. Yeah. Not quite good enough for the majors, but they do well in Altoona.
Absolutely. Now, let's go to this and touch back on what you said. The Pirates signed third baseman K. Brian Hayes to an 8-year, $70 million deal, $8.75 million per year. Hayes will be 34 years old before he is a free agent. For the Pirates, this is a steal. Even though it's guaranteed money, the Pirates, by Forbes magazine, are worth $1.3 billion. And when I had a sports psych class in college, I would tell they were stunned, some of the students. The Pirates' percentage of profitability was right up there with the Yankees.
Yeah.
Not that they made the money, the Yankees. It's the percentage.
I think you need to teach people around this whole area about that. That Nutting is the smartest guy in Pittsburgh.
Absolutely.
I know They don't understand that he's the one guy who has no ego.
He's running,
he has no
he's
ego.
running
He
a
doesn't
business
care.
like a business.
Imagine
that.
He's not thinking about winning games.
And listen to this. The PG last Sunday's paper on April the 10th. Most years, the Pirates covered their payroll with ticket sales and concessions. Everything else,
They're doing it again this year.
Everything else with TV and revenue sharing, so gravy for them.
Absolutely.
It is.
That's why their
like the
profitability
dessert.
is so good.
The pumpkin pie I'm going to have this week.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. It's a dessert. You have one time.
So am I excited about this signing of Brian? You know, they've signed McCutcheon before, Polanco, Pedro Alvarez, Starling Marte. But they don't sign enough of them.
No.
To build a team. So
not signing.
This doesn't change anything for me.
Hey, I'll ask you again. What's the payroll?
It's 35. Well, it's going to jump up, they said, close to 50 million.
Oh, my.
But here in their division, there's St. Louis, Chicago, Milwaukee, Cincy, and the Pirates are like 50, 60, 70 million behind the Reds.
Cincinnati's coming back to them because Cincinnati found out they couldn't. They tried to win that way and they couldn't do it.
And you look around, there's a whole starting staff out there in the majors: Garrett Cole, Charlie Morton, Joe Musgrave, Tyon, Glasnow, and reliever Mark Melanson.
Yeah.
They're all out there. But imagine if they were still with the Pirates.
It's never a chance. That's
right.
But as I told George, Baltimore and Pittsburgh. I just read a lot. That's all you go by.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the next 3 to 4 years, both of them are going to be good for 2 or 3 years.
Right.
But then it's going to break up again. Do you understand? I'd like to see them be good for 10 years,
Right,
not 2
like
to
they
3.
used to be. Now, let me say this. All the financial stats out there, all this paralysis by analysis, I just do the eye test. Look at the team on the field, and what do you see?
Absolutely.
And 25,
It doesn't take much, does it?
25 losing seasons in the last 29 years. So you could throw all those other statistics out the door. That's where it is.
And another thing, we're building, we're young.
We're always building.
Because of free agency, that's not enough.
Now, does Brian, does he exceed his contract? Or does the contract exceed him?
He'll be fine. He's relaxed now.
Yeah.
He's a good player. He's a
good player.
He's a great fielder.
If he hits,
he's got
if he hits 280,
yeah.
What a deal.
And 8.75 is a deal for him.
Yes.
Right.
In today's game, $8 million?
Yeah, they're saying he possibly, if he turns out to be a star, left 150 to 200 million dollars on the table. But you don't know.
I'll repeat myself again. My problem with the Pirates is and it'll never stay with me forever, is they're saying they're comfortable with Shelby.
Love him.
They love him. They've lost 108 and 104 games.
Yeah.
How can you love a man?
19 and 41
They
during
would
the
hate
COVID
me.
year.
They would hate me. Like
Yeah.
I'd say, you stink. When are you going to start playing better? He welcomes in. Come on in. I want to talk about your brother and sister.
Yeah.
And you're not supposed to, George. Did they ever feel comfortable at Butler with you?
And
Did they ever-
here's the difference. Look
didn't
at
like-
Derek Jeter.
Comfortable.
He left Miami because they wouldn't put the money out to win.
They said
There's a guy, he wanted to win, and he didn't see it coming, and he left.
Eddie, I know you coach Jim Rankin. The players were comfortable. Were they ever comfortable? around him?
Comfortable.
That's what I'm saying.
The coaches were never
Did they
comfortable.
win? They win any games?
Yeah, I think
they won
won
some
a few.
games.
No,
that drives me crazy.
Yeah,
That
this
they're
Peter
comfortable about
Shower
Shelby.
nonsense,
Yeah.
they call me Shelby and all this. What is this?
Hey, here's the last thing. Recent survey in Major League Baseball. What percentage of Americans are baseball fans today?
Not many.
22%.
Not many.
When we were kids, I would bet it was 65
For
to
sure.
70%.
Sure.
Hey,
That's the one sport that's going downhill.
downhill
For sure,
fast. NFL news, no change in the overtime rule for the regular season. I'm even okay with a tie like it used to be. However, in the playoffs, each team will get a chance to score after that at sudden death. By the way, it could be a field goal and a touchdown, a safety.
How about you go for
even.
2 and end it?
Or go for 2 and end it.
There it
Yep.
is.
Hey, and quarterback Kaepernick.
Oh,
Get
Colin
his-
Kaepernick? No,
Colin
okay.
Kaepernick.
Yeah, he was
He's
at
worked out at
Michigan,
the University of Michigan, and he's looking for an NFL job.
He has
Kansas-
talent. He has the talent. But I don't know if he's
getting older and older.
Any president or owner is going to take the chance because of the fan base. You know,
There was
nuts.
thoughts there that Baltimore that
It was done
that
till
John Harbaugh
his
was
girlfriend ran her money. She ran her mouth on Ray Lewis and the owner. It was done.
Jeez.
That's a
Once
shame
again, they're talking again.
because I'm sure the Harbaugh's talk and Jim said to
Absolutely.
John, "Here's a good
Yeah,
backup
yeah.
quarterback
He's
you need."
tremendous
Hey,
backup
Colin
quarterback.
Kaepernick.
And he
play.
said he wants to be a backup now. Do you understand?
Yeah,
before
that's
he
right.
before he
Yeah,
said, "I want to be a
absolutely.
starter. I want to be a starter."
If he didn't come with the circus, he's good.
Right.
Hey guys, the Steelers need another quarterback.
Absolutely.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about names, image, and likeness. It's a year into it, just about. There's some things popping up that they didn't anticipate, and surprisingly, the women are doing quite well with it. But now they're turning around, look, oh, I got to pay this agent. Oh, Kenny Pickett, I live in New Jersey. I'm playing. I got to pay taxes here in Pittsburgh. I got to pay state taxes. Oh, I got to pay federal taxes. I got to pay local. So now they got to hire an accountant. So whatever money, say they're bringing in $20,000, you got to pay that agent. You got to have your tax prepared. You better have things right in several different states. So some of them are learning real fast.
Yeah.
The economics of making this
It's like
money.
whether the price is right, you got to pay before you can leave. I mean, it doesn't sound like much, but these guys.
It is.
But the point is, it's in bad shape. Ohio athletic directors are voting next month for name, image, likeness in high school.
It's coming to high school, Eddie.
Yeah, I know.
It's coming to high school.
I'm not surprised.
It's amazing.
I'm not. And I told George, we were talking yesterday, the cheerleaders, like the cheerleaders in March Madness, went and get the. Those girls are going to start names, image, and likeness too.
They didn't think it through.
Yeah.
They had no idea.
Well, here's what I say, Andy. Let's cut the hypocrisy. Just pay these players. They're paying them anyway.
They're paying them
Just
sideways instead of just handing it to them.
Just like Lane Kiffin said that Texas A&M exceeded their payroll.
Full blast.
Like they care. But if it goes to high school.
It's going to high school.
These
not if.
I mean,
there's no if to it. It's going to high school.
That's over.
It's going. It's going.
Mark Emmert, what's he make a year?
$3 million.
$2 million.
He just got $3.
He got $3.
Yep.
Okay.
60,000, and he hides in the office. The Kansas City won that basketball. Kansas City.
Hey guys, I've been wanting to mention this. WPL news. Butler football. Butler has offered WPL a deal. Let us be eligible for district playoffs in football for 2022 and 23, and then we'll come back to WPL. Amy Schooneman, WPL, said no deal. So now Butler is going to sue the WPIL and the PIAA in court. I'm not sure they'll have much success with that. That's it for us. Hey, tune in next week. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about the Steelers and the NFL draft. We'll see you then.
Armstrong has a history of being engaged in the areas where we provide service. One of these ways is through breaking bread. Food insecurity affects over 12 million children and 5 million seniors nationwide, putting them at risk for chronic health conditions. We're taking a four-prong approach to fighting hunger by collecting donations, volunteering time, donating money, and raising awareness. Visit ArmstrongOneWire.com/breakingbread to find a list of community feeding programs in your area.
No one plans for a plumbing emergency. If it happens, turn to the experts at Armstrong Comfort Solutions. Matt Mertz Plumbing is now part of the Armstrong Comfort family. Do you have a leaking pipe, a toilet backing up? When you need a plumber, you want an honest, licensed professional. We're available 24/7. Our plumbing experts can handle any need or emergency, including trenchless sewer replacement. Armstrong Comfort Solutions and Matt Mertz Plumbing, two great local companies coming together to better serve Western PA.